Guys and gals, Tyler Mahoney here with Truman Lake Fishing Intel. It is June 12th. It's the day of the Crappie Masters Missouri State event here at Bucksaw Marina on Truman Lake. And I'm standing here with Mike Vallentine, the winner of today's event. Congratulations.
Hey.
He had a hell of a good weight. There was 36 boats today.
Yeah.
And it was 1190 or 1180?
1185.
1185. So wanted to just chat with Mike real quick about his day because it was long, hot, muggy, nasty, but he still found a way to catch them. So I was kind of curious what your game plan was going into today and if you had to maneuver around or if it all kind of went as planned.
Yeah, our game plan today was we really didn't have one because we'd done zero pre-fishing. It's just, you know, it's being a local, you kind of know where to go. So we picked a starting spot and it wasn't great. So we just moved around. You start seeing some fish and then started catching a few fish. And then we kind of fell into a strong area and caught 3 or 4 good fish. Yeah. And then it's summertime, it's getting hot. These fish like to, you know, when they're out feeding, they're vulnerable. You can catch them, and when they're not feeding, they tend to drop, go to the bottom, disappear. They go somewhere, and so it got tough for a while. Yeah. And then they started showing back up again a little later. We started catching some more. Yeah. So, you know, a week from now, that could be different.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of teams like to stay here in the Grand Arm, and seems like a lot of big fish are here. Now, the Osage also got a lot of big fish. I don't know if any of their teams were fishing Osage today, but, you know, you mentioned, you know, when they're up feeding, did you notice, is the summertime pattern where they're getting out onto those trees on the flats, is that starting to shape up a little bit more? Here in the last couple of weeks, it's still been taking some time.
Yeah, the fish are starting to get on more trees. So when it gets, you know, sunny and warm and it gets in shady areas, you're starting to find more fish in those areas for sure. So, and now they just keep getting better the warmer it gets, which is the great thing about Truman Lake.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and hopefully the lake drops down a little bit. We're still sitting 10, 11 feet high, you know, and that takes a 56,000 acre lake to what, 90, 100,000 acres?
At least,
so that's a lot of space for those fish to move out into the bushes and get in areas that aren't super conducive for even live scoping them.
That's right.
Which makes it tough for the guys. I mean, if you don't have live scope in these tournaments, you might as well not even compete.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Now, you are allowed to use minnows in this event. You didn't really use any today. I was talking to Hunter Bowling earlier, and he did use some minnows, and that's how he was getting some bites. You like to stay to the jig. Do you use your own hand-tied jigs mostly?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I run a combination of hand-tied jigs, and if those aren't working, I use those Freaky Frank worms, and they're, you know, they're 2.5 inch worms, and they're real skinny, small profile, and they trigger a lot of bites. So those do help catch a lot of fish, but you know, the main thing is now when you're live scoping is pinpoint accuracy. It's not just putting that jig by the fish. It's figuring out exactly how to present that bait to get them to bite.
Yep, and it's an art, and it takes a lot of hours on the water.
Lots of hours.
Now, as far as jigs go on Truman Lake, are there some quintessential colors that you like to throw and have ready to go on Truman, or does it really matter to you?
Yeah, I have a small color palette, you know, blue, white, orange. Orange is almost always strong. And black. Those paired with, you know, a white or an orange color is always good on Truman. Seems like.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you came across a dozen or so big fish, tournament type fish that you wanted, that you just couldn't get to bite. What do you do is there something special that you like to do to trigger those finicky big fish that will I know it doesn't work every time.
Yeah.
But what are some of those things you like to do to try to get a bite out of those?
Every day's different, so you have to figure that out. Then you got to keep repeating.
Right.
And again, it's not just it's pinpoint accuracy. It really is, because once you find a little trick that works, you got to keep repeating it and repeating it, and you'll catch more fish, especially those bigger fish. Today, I'm not sure we ever really figured that out, because we left so many big fish out there. It is unreal. There's a big tournament next week, and without getting too detailed, it's there is a trick that will make them bite a little better than not. So but next week I plan to go practice a little bit and maybe fine tune that. And maybe we can catch a couple more.
Right. Well, maybe we can talk more about that at a later time after you bring home the win next week. Well, that's a lot of great information, Mike, and really appreciate you talking with us and sharing that. Also wanted to share something that Mike does. So Mike used to own Crappie Masters. In his retirement, started up a new company with Mark McClure and Jack Linton, and they do a ton of, well, I'll just let you explain it, because I know you guys do a ton of stuff with home renovation. Home
renovation, any type of remodel work. So we do a partnership with Larry Jones, who does countertops, granite countertops, and all quartz, all countertops really. And so what he does is he goes and sells new countertops, and we come in and we prepare for the new stuff to come in, and then a lot of times that'll lead us to picking up some more work, doing some backsplashes or floors or plumbing and some electric and things like that. But since we started doing that, that has led to more stuff, and we've got 3 or 4 full home renovations to do
right
this year. Right now, they're waiting, and we've already done a couple, and so I mean, we're capable of doing pretty much anything. I tell people we do everything but crown molding. Don't ask me to crown molding, because we can't do it. Yeah.
Well, we had Mike and his crew come in and at our house and did some awesome work finishing up a little half bath we had, redoing our fireplace, and just doing some grunt work on that basement room that I did not want to do, and Mike did a great job on it. And we're going to be having them do some more. So if you are local around the Clinton, Warsaw areas, how far out will you guys go?
Within an hour of Clinton. We try to stay as close to home as possible, especially now. I mean, the price of fuel is just ridiculous, and it affects everybody. And if you got to travel somewhere for 3 straight weeks, an hour away, it really impacts
big time
everybody in that chain. So
what's the best way to get a hold of you for that?
We're all on Facebook, so you can contact us there by messenger or give us a call. My number is 660-351-6960, and be glad to take a look at what you got, give a bid. You can go with us, or you can not. But but we'd be more than happy to come take a look at what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell you firsthand, they do great work, and I know they're going to be doing some more great work for us here in the near future. But Mike, thanks again for all that information. Congrats again on the first place finish, and we will look forward to seeing you next week and hopefully get some similar results.
Come to Truman Lake, spend some time down here. You will catch a lot of fish. This place is awesome year-round unless it's froze over.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Doesn't happen often, but the last couple winters, 2 winters ago, it froze over completely, the whole freaking lake.
You catch your limit here 365 days a year if you learn the lake a little bit, and as long as it's not froze over.
Well, hey guys, thanks a bunch for watching, and we'll look forward to catching you on the next one.